Hi everyone, this is my submission for the requirement on MMS197 Group and Module Assignments. Under Unit 1, the Scientific Method of Inquiry, Module 2, which is Deductive versus Inductive Methods of Inquiry. The objectives are the following. Differentiate deductive versus inductive reasoning. Reflect on the application of these methods to one's research. In research, the two main types of analysis typically used are quantitative deductive reasoning and qualitative inductive reasoning. In order to facilitate a more comprehensive study of a topic, researchers should have access to all available research tools and should become proficient in both methodologies. Define deductive reasoning. Referred to as top-down logic, works from the more general to the more specific. We begin with thinking up a theory about our desired topic. Narrow it down further to a specific hypothesis that we can test. Further narrow down when we collect observations to address the hypothesis with specific data. And finally, arrive to a confirmation of our theories. The basic principle on which deductive reasoning is based is a well-known mathematical formula. The conclusion in the example is a but obvious fact in the premise. Linear logic where similar can be established. One premise follows up on the other. Deductive arguments can only be valid or invalid, sound or unsound, or true or false because the statement that is derived may be true, but in the context of the derived conclusion it may not be valid. A deductive argument can be valid only if the conclusion necessarily follows from the previous given. If the conclusion is incorrect, then one of the premises must be faulty or true only for a specific situation, which is not applicable to all situations. A valid deductive argument with true premises is said to be sound, whereas a deductive argument which is invalid or has one or more false premises or both is said to be unsound. An argument is valid when both the premises are true and the conclusion that is derived from them cannot be false. Let's try to examine some samples. All oranges are fruits. All fruits grow on trees. Therefore, all oranges grow on trees. Johnny is a bachelor. All bachelors are single. Hence, Johnny is single. These are sound and valid arguments. All flight attendants know how to swim. Ralph knows how to swim. Hence, Ralph is a flight attendant. The example conclusion is untrue because it is not necessary that only flight attendants know how to swim. Any swimmer can swim. Always note that when deductive reasoning leads to a faulty conclusion, the reason is often that the given premise was faulty. Premises used is critical to the entire process of deductive reasoning. Lead to inductive reasoning, referred to as bottom-up approach, works from specific observations to broader generalizations and theories. We begin with specific observations and measures, begin to detect patterns and regularities, formulate some tentative hypotheses that we can explore, finally end up developing some general conclusion. So let's look at inductive reasoning by example, by cause, by sign, by comparison, by authority. Inductive reasoning allows us to create generalizations about things such as people, places, events, the environment, etc. Inductive reasoning is more open-ended and exploratory, especially at the beginning. Exercising relieves stress. Exercising keeps you in shape. Exercising lowers risk of heart disease. The conclusion is that everyone should exercise at least 3 times a week to maintain a healthy lifestyle. This statement proves that all premises are all independent statements that collectively support the conclusion in inductive reasoning. All the swans that I have seen till date are white in color. Therefore, all swans are white. This year began very well for me, so this is a lucky year. In the example, there is a sense of generalized judgment, which may or may not turn out to be true. Deductive versus inductive reasoning and its differentiation. Deductive reasoning, all premises are all independent statements that collectively support the conclusion. While inductive reasoning, no other facts other than the given premises are considered. In deductive reasoning, conclusions are drawn on the basis of proofs and not merely by assuming or thinking of predetermined cause. While in inductive reasoning, a conclusion derived from general knowledge, it states generalized facts from observations of a regular pattern of anything. These observations are subject to change or remain constant, depending on changes in further observations. Deductive reasoning deals with certainty and goes from the universal to a particular. Inductive reasoning deals with probability and generally goes from the particular to a universal. Deductive reasoning narrows in nature and is concerned with testing and confirming hypotheses. Reflections on the application of these methods to one's research. Let's start with absolute certainty. So in a statement, all cats that you have observed purr, therefore every cat must purr. In this statement, you would like absolute certainty. Information about whether the unobserved cats purr, which you generally do not get as a human being. Inductive reasoning deals with probability and generally goes from the particular to a universal. Deductive reasoning deals with certainty and goes from universal to a particular. The truthfulness of the statement, all cats that you have observed purr, becomes more probable with the amount of cats observed. Self-evident truths. In a statement, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. There are some truths which are self-evident. The principle of non-contradiction is self-evident. In Aristotle, there are 3 versions of this principle, one of which is something cannot both be and not be at the same time and in the same respect. Example, either Luke exists or he does not. I cannot both exist at 7 p.m. March 10th and not exist at 7 p.m. March 10th. In conclusion, one does not need to choose one methodology over the other. The scope of study is limitless. Everyone, this ends my report on the topic. Hope that I have given ample insights on deductive and inductive reasoning. Thank you.